Good morning, everyone. Good morning, students. Praise be Jesus and Mary. Today, we are going to have our first lecture for tonight, and we will begin with Module 7. So, the first module that we are going to have is on pharmacy informatics in the medication use process. I am projecting right now on the screen an infographic that will summarize and represent all the vital information about the pharmacy informatics in the medication use process. To start with, I will just like to highlight the objectives of our lecture for today. So this module, I hope everyone will be able to identify and explain the role of pharmacy informatics within medication use. Later on, I hope you can evaluate informatic technologies that improve medication safety and quality of care. I am looking forward that we can integrate pharmacy informatics tools into clinical decision making and medication management as well. And hopefully, later on, we will going to have a group dynamic activity. I would like you to create, synthesize, and propose pharmacist led informatic interventions to optimize medication therapy and reduce medication errors. So, to start with our discussion this morning, we have here the title of the infographic: Optimizing Medication Use and Improving Patient Outcomes. From the word optimizing, we would like to use pharmacy informatics, the interdisciplinary field of IT, pharmacy practice, science, health information to help us optimize, get the full benefit from the medication that we provide to our patient. We would like to have the patient to experience improved patient outcomes within our healthcare system. Our pharmacy informatics will be a great support for clinical decision making, enabling us to be efficient in our work, enabling us to be efficient in the collection of data, analysis also of our data, and the interpretation of medication related data. With regards to medication use process, it typically involves 5 steps. So we have here prescribing, the first one. Then we have transcribing, followed by dispensing, followed by administering of the medication, and then, of course, monitoring. So I would like to reiterate medication use process usually have 5 steps. It begins with prescribing, transcribing, and then we have dispensing, administering, and monitoring of medication. Informatic tools have transformed all of these stages to help us optimize our role as healthcare providers. We have computerized provider order entry, as what we call as CPOE. This system, this system allows us to prescribe allows the doctors to prescribe, enter medication orders electronically, eliminating errors with the illegible handwriting and manual transcription as well. So this is integrated in hospital system, particularly in the hospital, for integrated clinical decision support. We can also alert using this system clinicians for potential drug interactions, allergy risks, dosing errors, or duplicate therapies. This is the perfect scenario, and we really look forward that our hospitals will be able to adapt, will be able to invest, and can use this system. It is not a secret for everyone that our healthcare system is really still a developing one. So we really are looking forward for this integration, unified integration for the private and for the public um, hospitals, so that our transition of care would be seamless. There is also what we call as EHR. The EHR is referred as the electronic health records. This is another fundamental component of pharmacy informatics. So what does EHR do? The EHR, or the health electronic health records, consolidate patient health information, and it can begin within the community pharmacy that includes medication history, laboratory results, diagnosis, and treatment plans. And as I've mentioned a while ago, it is good, or it will be best for patient that we can have a unified digital platform for this one from the CPOE and also with the EHRs, so that our seamless care would be felt by the patient. This integration enables us pharmacists to evaluate patient specific clinical information. When we recommend something about medication adjustments or monitoring therapy, we can help them with how to monitor also therapy outcomes, how to monitor the different drug related problems. And there are a lot of studies that have demonstrated the integration of EHR systems has significantly reduced medication errors and improved the care coordination and relationship, professional relationship of doctors and pharmacists and nurses as well, and across healthcare providers. In addition to that, we can also have an individual in addition to individual patient care, pharmacy informatics can also or enables population level medication management. Pharmacists can use different data dashboards and analytic tools to identify prescribing patterns. So these different tools or different softwares, we can do a lot of things that from the data that it stores, from the data that it there. So it will be very beneficial for us, for pharmacists. The only thing that we need to do is maximize these softwares so that we can provide more benefit for our patients. This, for example, pharmacists may analyze EHR data to identify patients with CKD, those who are receiving nephrotoxic medications. We should be proactive in in our intervention before kidney injury occurs. So that would be very beneficial, and of course it would help our patients save a lot of money in the long run. It may be expensive to purchase or to invest in pharmacy informatics softwares, but it's better to invest for prevention, of course, rather than to cure and, of course, to cost a patient's life. Moreover, pharmacy informatics also play a crucial role in medication safety initiatives. So these medication safety initiatives I'm talking about is an example for that. We have barcode administration. So barcode medication administration, it is a system that is in place already in the first world country, and that is a system that we really want to have here in the Philippines, where a system can verify patient identity and medication details before the nurse administration. This will really significantly reduce wrong patient, wrong dose errors. We can also have automated dispensing cabinets and robotic dispensing technologies that would further enhance safety by minimizing manual dispensing errors and improving medication inventory control. So it is mostly on prevention side, and those softwares and those medication safety initiatives helps us to make our job more safe and make our patients be safer as well. So as our healthcare becomes increasingly digital, pharmacists must also develop competencies in this pharmacy informatics to effectively manage medication related data, in example. So I hope you are ready already as we end our data analytic subject. I hope you have gained and compounded some knowledge good enough to be literate enough in informatics and allow you to transform raw data, clinical data, into an actionable insight that will improve medication therapy outcomes. And I hope you'll be brave enough to process this data and help it um, process this data and use this to support evidence based clinical practice. For for clinical pharmacy, we are really eager to use these essential tools because our main concern is ensuring safe and effective medication therapy management. Soon you'll become clinical pharmacists. You will really frequently rely on this system to review laboratory values, example, and then you will use this system to identify drug interactions and check dosing requirements, monitor therapeutic outcomes. So it is a must. No, it is a must that you have to learn, and you should not forget the things that you have encountered. No, if you have learned from this subject. So your access to this integrated patient data enables you to help your patient to provide an accurate, and our goal is an individualized pharmacotherapy recommendation. Please make sure that you give justice to each of your patient and do not provide one pill treatment for everyone. We deserve individualized pharmacotherapy. So all of these systems, informatics system, will allow that to happen. The same thing with our role in antimicrobial stewardship program. We heavily rely on informatics system. Even epidemiologic studies, we rely on informatics system. We can analyze prescribing patterns. There are studies right now that involves prescribing patterns and the use of informatics or informatics system in their hospital where they are employed. So I hope you can continue to do that when you graduate and you become a clinical pharmacist. I hope you can identify trends, you can identify patterns, and help improve the system, analyze it, and help develop or improve, the systems that you have in your hospital. As pharmacists, you are tasked to identify inappropriate uses of drugs, specifically maybe the antibiotics right now, because antimicrobial stewardship program is heavily reliant on the legwork is within us, the pharmacists. So we are the ones who are target implementers for these interventions to optimize antimicrobial therapy. And I challenge everyone that with the use of these different data, with the use of this pharmacy informatics, you will be able to be of help to your system in the hospital that you are in. Aside from antimicrobials, we also have informatics that would be useful in ambulatory care systems, such as in the community. It is not just in the four corners of the hospitals. We can also extend it in the ambulatory care in the community that helps support chronic management or chronic disease management programs. So, for example, if you want to track your patients with uncontrolled hypertension, uncontrolled diabetes, or identify those who need adjustments or adherence counseling, even a simple counseling for maternal support, for preconception or contraception, that would be very beneficial to your patient. And this can be done only by data driven interventions. These are the steps that we can help promote and improve long term patient outcomes. And also, as I mentioned, these systems are expensive, but on the long run, it will help reduce healthcare costs. So, to wrap it up, pharmacy informatics is a very vital component of modern healthcare systems. By integrating technology with medication management processes, informatic tools improve medication safety, enhance clinical decision making, and support evidence based pharmacy practice. As a clinical pharmacist, you must develop competencies in informatics. So I hope some of you may say that they have developed already, but if some of you are starting to grasp the reality of it, I hope you can effectively manage it when you go there to your internship, and you will be able to optimize your patient's health through these different systems and contribute to the digital transformation of healthcare delivery. Now let's continue with Module 8 on data management in healthcare and emerging technologies. For our objectives on this module, at the end of the module, I would like the students to explain the principles of healthcare data management and governance, evaluate emerging technologies used in healthcare data analytics and digital transformation, analyze how structured healthcare data supports evidence based clinical decision making. And hopefully, you'll be able to apply data management strategies to improve medication therapy outcomes and population health. So, to begin with, we have here healthcare systems. Our healthcare systems generate enormous volumes of data from our electronic health records. As I've mentioned in the previous module, it has patient information, past medical history, medication history, the present illness, of course, laboratory systems. We also have pharmacy information systems, diagnostic imaging. We can have healthcare system that is from wearing devices such as our smartwatches, administrative databases. All of these tools, they are used to have effective data management. It allows us to collect accurate data. These are data sources that we can store, we can organize, and it is protected through different softwares, storages, and we can analyze it to support our clinical decision making and healthcare delivery. So you are challenged through this data management that you will be able to optimize all the data that we can gather. Healthcare data management involves several key processes that includes data collection, storage, of course, integration to the system, standardization. It is required that we have to follow uniform standard across all different systems or different practices or different bodies. The governance should be properly implemented. And there is analytics that we have to do in order for this healthcare data management to be effective. And that is the main purpose of everything that we have discussed in this subject. We have standardized medical vocabularies, such as examples here: SNOMED, CT, LOINC, ICD-10, and RX norm. These may not be familiar for most of us right now, but these healthcare systems are used in different countries, different first world countries. And these terms here, these are systems that enables practitioners, healthcare practitioners in hospital and community to have interoperability across the healthcare system. It allows physicians to exchange information, to perform large scale analytics. So, the main purpose that I am introducing this now to everyone is when the time comes that we will have this, you will, of course, be first in line to share and to know and to have knowledge about it. And of course, in the case that in the event that you would like to go seek for employment outside and become clinical pharmacist for a first world country, then you will be able to be at par with the practices, with the skills of the our farm colleagues from different countries. We need to know their standardized method so that we will be abreast with these different vocabularies, technologies, and system. Without knowing all of this, without learning the standard practice, our practice will always be fragmented. It will be limited to the resources, it will be limited to what we have on hand. So we will be limited to the usefulness, and our patient care will be limited also. The same way with our research capacity. One of the most significant developments in healthcare data management is the rise of big data analytics. Healthcare, we have the big data analytics. It refers to large, complex data sets that cannot be easily analyzed. It is a fact. We cannot easily analyze it using traditional statistical methods. Hence, most of these different technologies use advanced computational techniques. We can include the machines. So if there is a challenge to learn how to manage a machine, you have to be up to the challenge. The artificial intelligence is very, very good right now, and I hope we are using it to our advantage. What I mean with to our advantage, I hope we are using AI to sharpen our skills, not to replace us or not to make us be dependent on AI. Then we also have predictive analytics. These are increasingly used right now because it allows to identify patterns easily, specifically in the patient data among different population or subpopulation. It helps us predict the disease risk. Also, it also provide medication adherence problem uh, patterns or even adverse drug event patterns. So these systems are very helpful. These emerging technologies use again the machines. These machines has algorithms, and these machines are set to have natural language processing. So that is why it is important that our document itself should be in the universal language also. If not, then we have to develop our own machine to be able to analyze or to process the Filipino language. And then it has a predictive modeling that transform healthcare analytics. So all of these tools can analyze large volumes of patient data. Okay, they are stored in the cloud that secures the information and real-time sharing. It will remove the lag in the time of care, and it will also protect us from privacy issues. But there are also downside of cloud-based health data systems. These risks, these different disadvantages should be listed, should be emphasized so that we'll be able to prevent the the uneventful circumstances such as bridging, no, breaching of privacy, the data security of our patients' information is very important. And aside from the goodness of the internet right now having AI, there are also the improvement in the hacking capacity of these different bad entities targets government, targets healthcare to steal money, to steal information for money. And we will have to make sure and ensure regulatory compliance when we employ all of these emerging technologies. As healthcare is increasingly reliant on this digital data, as pharmacists, you must be able to know the risks also, to manage the risks so that you can protect the data that you have on hand. So, aside from using the data, you need to protect the data you have. Understanding how to manage, how to interpret, how to mitigate risk allows us to contribute more on the evidence based clinical decision. So, all of these are health initiatives to promote not just our profession, but also to promote healthcare. So, for clinical pharmacists, we are um, we are one of the medium to implement these different systems. We are the top users. Pharmacists use structured healthcare data to monitor medication. All of the things that you have learned, it is very difficult for it to be carried out using manual operations. So embrace the analytics, embrace the processes, embrace the challenge so that we will not be limited to small circle of community. We can extend to a larger population because we are really needed, badly needed, especially in moderating or controlling different conditions that are related to endocrinologic, metabolic, and even infectious diseases. So hopefully when you are in the field, when you are in the internship practice, you'll be able to observe and will be able to take note what are the things that are done, practice, and how is it really affecting our role in the patient medication management. I hope you'll be able to find your way on understanding where you will be going to as an administrator, perhaps as an advocate of medication for diabetes, for infectious disease pharmacists, but wherever it will be, it really has to have the help of technology, even in pharmacovigilance monitoring. So, in antimicrobial resistance, in AMS. So, all of this requires skills in data analytics. Your knowledge in pharmacotherapy will be put into action, will be felt by the patient if you will be able to um, maximize the data. You'll be able to manage the data that you are given. So, effective data management is really essential for modern healthcare systems. When you organize and analyze large volume of clinical data, healthcare professionals like us can identify patterns that improve outcomes, medication safety, and healthcare efficiency. So these emerging technologies such as AI, predictive analytics, we can use this and accept the challenge when you are faced to operate or to use, or you are asked to navigate and be the champion of these different technologies that we have right now. So this is our module 8. Now, moving forward, I will ask you to meet with your group after the quiz. After the two quizzes that I have posted, you have time to answer the quiz for 1 hour, and then meet with your group mates and answer the group activity and submit it at the end of our subject at 11 o'clock. So that would be all. Thank you very much, everyone, and I'll see you next week for our final defense. Thank you very much.